Hello everyone, KB2 Enjoyer here and welcome back to a new Sprocket video. Today is a special episode finally. You may be wondering why this video is uploading late. Well, let's just say that I am dumb. I recorded this video last week and when I tried to edit what I did, I found out that basically I accidentally deleted the past recording I made. So now I had to make it again. But this is a special episode because we're finally finishing off the interwar period with a showdown where we will see which tank designed in this period specifically is the best one. Right at the start I want to mention the fact that this let's say list or the winner will be decided because of many factors such as efficiency, design, but mostly the winner of the scenario, which is dunes, is most likely to be the winner. However, it doesn't mean that if a tank wins, it will be the best one. It really depends by how a tank can quickly finish off the scenario and even because of other factors. But this is important because today is let's say the winner is very surprising. So the first tank I tried out was the YT6. So if you don't remember what the YT6 is, it is a light tank with a very small cannon, by the way. And from the start, and as you can see in the video, the main issue of this tank is the turret traverse speed, which means that if this tank stays still in one position and has to snipe and move the turret around, it's not that easy. Surprisingly though, this tank made a good job, and even the armor is not amazing, but by angling the tank, it can be quite resistant, and even from the distance mostly the enemies did not have a chance. However, the YT6 could not finish off this scenario. The next tank in this video is the YT7. The YT7 is a rather heavy, long tank, which is mostly inspired by well, let's say like the T38, and T35. So it's a rather heavy tank, slow, and has 3 turrets, which 2 of them are working. While playing this scenario, I noticed one thing, that actually 2 things. The first thing is, as you can see, the speed and mobility of the vehicle is not great in this map. We are in a desert and we need a very fast tank to move across the map. And the second disadvantage that this tank has is the weight of the shells. So the shell velocity is not great, and aiming isn't easy. And since this tank uses for the main cannon, it uses APHE shells, the shells are great against light vehicles because they can easily destroy them since they are highly explosive. However, for heavier tanks, they have some difficulty to penetrate the armor. However, the YT7 did a great job. Mostly the armor is one great advantage that this tank has. In aspects of gun depression, this tank did a great job, a very great job, and I quite enjoyed to play with this. However, the only issue is probably the speed, which is of course normal because of the weight of this tank. And the other thing I'm kinda worrying is the AI, of the enemy AI, because not specifically with the YT7 but with another tank, the enemy AI was kinda meh. So I don't know if the results are truly honest, because it really depends also by the enemy AI, and the winner is not really the winner like the best tank that can win every single scenario. It's just the best tank in that specific map. So in this map, the YT7 did a great job, an amazing job, but that isn't enough to fight in a combat in this scenario. However, the YT7, and I'm noticing it even now because I forgot to mention this, because of the weight of the YT7, in this scenario I only had 2 tanks to fight with, and 5 enemies. I was against 5 enemies, so even though we were just 2 of us, at the end I managed to actually have an amazing result. The YT7 is very strong if it is fighting in an urban area or in a plain map, but dunes of course are not easy for a heavy tank to move around, and in fact we managed to have a great result, but there was one enemy missing which was heavily armored, so even the HE shells could not penetrate frontally that vehicle. The next tank is the YT8, and I am rather disappointed by this vehicle. So the first thing I noticed, which is weird, I don't know why, but when shooting with this tank, for some reason the shell do not hit straight, and they just move around while flying and that I don't understand why. It's probably because of the weight of the shells. However, I don't understand why they move around like that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The other main issue of the YT8 is the speed. This tank is lighter than the YT7, way lighter than the YT7. However, it is just too slow, and even because of the huge cannon, it's a 150mm I think cannon, the gun is really the main weight here, and in fact this tank does not have basically no armor. The advantage here would be the cannon. However, the weight of the shell and the length of the barrel make this tank basically useless on long distances, and I would be surprised if the YT8 had actually won this scenario, because it's highly unlikely. Just to tell you, I had to move around this map to get closer to my enemies, even though this tank is designed as a tank destroyer, and to do so I had to move around, of course, but I'm too slow to do so. Hence my enemy, you know, they shoot me, they snipe me. So the YT8 is not great. It maybe looks on paper, it looks great, but it really doesn't. The other main thing that surprised me about the YT8, even though it's not great, is that I was really lucky, because the enemy AI was moving around, but they were not coming to me. They were not even trying to fight me back with great resistance, and at the end the YT8 destroyed 2 enemies out of 3, which compared to the YT7 is not that much. But here is the very surprising part. When preparing this showdown, I was expecting this tank, the YT9, to be the one that couldn't even not kill one tank. However, and here is the factor where enemy AI is the issue. So when I was fighting this tank, the first thing I noticed is that for example, at the end of the fight, there was one enemy standing at the spawn point. He was not moving, not shooting, I don't know why. But about 3 tanks in this case, were enemy tanks, were not even trying to fight me. Actually, they were trying to flee from me, or they were moving around because I could not penetrate them frontally. And that is the main issue of the YT9, is the gun caliber. It is not great. It is it has a autoloader cannon, so that's good against light tanks, I guess, but not that great for heavier vehicles. However, the YT7 surprised me a lot. It is faster than other tanks, and turret traverse speed is fine, is actually okay, actually very good for this period of time. The cannon cannot penetrate frontally, however, if it does penetrate, and if you find the enemy weak spot, you can just spam shooting at the enemy and basically destroying them completely. If you manage to penetrate them frontally, you can damage some modules like tracks, engine, etc. And then you finish off the rest by just shooting. If you immobilize the enemy tank, you can just go behind them and fight. However, as you can see now, the enemy AI was kind of sucked, basically. They were standing still, letting me come closer, and they were moving around, letting me penetrate them from the sides and from behind. The YT9 managed, I don't want to spoil anything, but managed to win this scenario, which is the first tank ever in this series to actually win a scenario. Since the first showdown we made, First World War, is very long and very difficult. In fact, I'm trying to make this video shorter than usual and to do a voiceover, just to make sure that the video is not too long. It will be longer, of course, than a normal designing video, but I hope you enjoy anyways. So the YT9 managed to finish off this scenario, but as I said before, it was also because of the enemy AI, which helped me a lot to finish this scenario, and I wouldn't be surprised if this tank would have actually lost if the fight was more challenging than this. I'm not saying that it wasn't challenging, however, I felt like in this case the enemy tanks were trying to fight less than what they did before. The last tank of this period is the YT10, and the YT10 is actually, I would say, gladly say, it is a better version, a better YT9. Speaking of cannon, maybe the speed is not the same, it's very similar. The YT10 is fast, not that much, it is not fast, but has a great mobility to move around, and the turret traverse speed is great. And the YT10 does not really surprise me in speaking of defense, because mostly the most shots I bounced off were the ones that came frontally, or that even hit me but did not damage modules or the crew members, which is the reason I designed this tank with a rear turret. The other thing that shocked me is that basically when I started fighting, one of my team from the spawn point sniped an enemy and actually destroyed them, and so we had the advantage already from the start. And the YT10 did an amazing job, I think. I would classify this tank as actually, like, immediately just watching the fighting, I would classify it immediately as the best tank in this period. However, that is not the case. Spoilers. And maybe the only issue here is the mobility. I really don't know. I think the YT10 is very well balanced. The armor is fine, the cannon is fine, the turret traverse speed is fine, the reload speed is actually incredible. It's a very fast shooting tank. However, I feel like it was unfair because the YT9 had dumber, let's say, enemies, while the YT10 actually had a lot of challenge here and there. And for example, there's an enemy tank that looks like a Churchill, which is very difficult to destroy, and it has a very fast reload speed, which makes it unfair. But as you can see now, the YT10 is actually great at defending. The armor is great if you angle the tank, but it could not finish off this scenario. So now it is time for the winner, and the winner is the YT9. And let me explain you why. It is, and this is not because the YT9 won. Kinda it is, but not really. So it is based on efficiency mostly, and the difference between the YT9 and YT7. So I would rather say that the YT7 is better just in armor and attack. However, it is all about adaptability. That is because it depends by the scenario. In this case, we are in the dunes, is a desert. There's a lot of dunes, of course, and you have to move around. And the YT7 is not good at that, even though it has great stats and a great cannon. It is not good for this scenario. I mean, not good enough. It is good, don't get me wrong, it is very good. The YT7 is very good. However, in this scenario, the YT9 is better because it is faster, smaller, and it actually won the scenario. But that's because of there's a certain level of luck the YT9 had, simply because the enemy AI was not fighting back for some reason, not always. The YT7 though did a great result, but in this specific scenario, the YT9 was the best tank. The YT7 could be the best if it was fighting in an urban area like a city or in the plains. Not really, maybe in a city, but the YT9 specifically adapts easily compared to the YT7. And so the winner for this showdown at the end of the video is the YT9. And well, that's it for today. I'm quite surprised still, because the results are not what I expected. I expected the winner to be the YT7 or the YT10. However, the YT9 did a great job. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked the video, you enjoyed, and remember to like and subscribe to help me out. And hopefully I will see you soon in the next video. That's everything for today. Keep it to enjoy out. Bye.